Imagine buying a piece of land, paying in full, and when you start working on that piece of land, someone from nowhere shows up with a proof of payment and at time with some necessary document showing that the piece of land you just bought belongs to them and that they are the rightful owners of that land. They have almost the same document like you have. This is not a dream, neither a fiction, but this is what happened almost all the time in Cameroon. One piece of land being sold to multiple buyers, either by the same person or by different people. If you've ever wondered how this comes to pass, then you are in the right place. Because in this video, I will be explaining to you how one piece of land can be sold to multiple people and what you who wants to buy land can do in order for you not to fall into that same trap. So, how does it actually happen that one piece of land is being sold to many people without their knowledge? This can take place under multiple scenarios, and I will be explaining this to you right now. Now, this is the first scenario. This happens when one seller, that is one person who owns a land, takes that piece of land and he sold it more than once to three different people or two different people, depending the amount of people in concern. The first person will come, he will sell the land to the person, he will do the necessary payment, and at times he can submit a copy of the necessary document to the person. The person will go knowing that he has bought the land and he is in possession of that land. Now, the next person will come, the person will sell that same piece of land to the next person, give them again a copy of the necessary document, and the person will go and then thinks the person is in safety. Now, maybe the third person will come and then the same procedure is going to happen. And then now, when one of these parties want to come maybe and start a construction on that land, that is now when other parties are going to surface and show almost the same document, the same photocopies of document that he gave to them, that we bought this land from this person and these are the documents he issued to me to prove that I am the owner of this land. Right? All of them bought the land from the same person. He issued the same photocopies of document to them. At times, he's not even issued the original copy, the photocopy of document to these people, and they go happily knowing that they have the land being attached to them. Meanwhile, it is not their land, right? We have to be very, very careful. Many people fall into this trap. Why? Because when they want to buy a land, they don't perform the necessary due diligence. They don't follow the necessary administrative procedure or legal procedure that is involved in transfer of ownership of land from one person to another. In Cameroon, land ownership is something that is very, very important. And for you to stand and say you are the owner of a land, there are certain legal and administrative procedure that you have to follow. And there are certain documents that has to be made in your name before you can stand somewhere and say you are the owner of the land. When you do not follow all these administrative procedures, which I will be bringing out in some of my videos, and you stand and you proclaim that the land belongs to you, no, you are not correct, right? You are fooling yourself. So it's always important and necessary that whenever you want to buy a land, you go through the various due diligence to confirm if this person is the real owner of the land. Yes, if the person is the real owner of the land, has this land been sold to someone before? You can do this just by going around and asking the neighbors that, okay, who is the owner of this land? You can say maybe it's this person's land, but he sold it to this particular person. At that moment, you already know that someone else is in ownership of that land, right? And you cannot go forward to buy something that it is already being sold to someone else. At times, some people might know and they want to buy, then that one is very bad, right? So this is the first scenario where one piece of land is being sold to different people by the same buyer. Now, what is the second scenario? The second scenario is where we have a family land which is being owned by many people in the family. then now one person, without the consent of other family members, go forward and sell that land to a particular person. And at a particular moment in time, maybe another member of the family also will take that piece of land and he will sell it again to another person without maybe even the consent of the family, right? So this is like some kind of mafia that goes behind when people want to sell land. This is why you have to be very, very careful. Whenever you want to buy a piece of land, always make sure that does this piece of land belongs to this person. If it is the family land, make sure that the family head is aware that this piece of land is currently being sold to me by this person. If you do not go through this process, you are risking your life, because tomorrow one member of the family can come and proclaim that this land does not belong to this person. It is the family land. He did not ask our consent before selling this land, and in that position you are in the wrong. Always make sure, does this land belongs to this person or is it a family land? If it is a family land, does the family head and other members of the family accept that you should sell that land? It should not only be verbal acceptance. If they accept, they should write it down and sign, so that when you are going forward, you have their name, their ID card, their signature, and in that case you can go forward boldly and buy. If you do not do this, then you are in the wrong. And as a result of this, you might buy a land, and tomorrow when you want to use it, you are being interrupted from using that land because someone else has already bought the land. Now, the third scenario is when you have maybe a fake agent or fake seller. Somebody from nowhere just come, he sees a piece of land, he fake that he is the owner of that piece of land, and he goes and look for somebody and and tell the person he is the owner of the land, and the person buys the land right from the person. It can either be the son of the owner of the land. He go and steal the document from the father, and he goes and sell it to somebody. And when he sells the land to the person think he is the owner of the land, but tomorrow when he wants to use the land, the family or the rightful owner will come and say this land belongs to me, and then you cannot do anything. So be very careful. Just as the same, always make sure it's the right person selling the land to you, right? This is very important. At times some people will come with the land and then they will show fake document that this is the document of this land. Meanwhile, those documents are forged. They are wrong document. They are not authenticated document, right? When somebody comes to you and wants to sell a land to you, if the land has a title, what you have to do is that you can take a copy of that title, you go to the land registry of the region in which that land is being found, you ask them that, is this piece of land, is this certificate authentic? Is this a right certificate? They can now go and they look and see that yes, this is an authentic certificate, and it's from there you can go forward to buy a land. Do not be in a haste when you are buying a land. Always take your time, because the wrong move will cost you millions and will cost you a saving, right? This is very important. Now, there are certain scenarios whereby a land document is even authentic. Someone will show an authentic document to you, but the land they are showing you is not the actual land they are talking about. In order for you not to fall in this trap, whenever somebody shows a piece of land to you, it is always good to, maybe if there is a land certificate attached to it, you can go in and meet a private surveyor and you give them the site plan or the cadastral plan, and they will now insert into their system and see if they can geolocalize that land to confirm that that land is actually there. If not, you can be buying a land thinking that this is the land, meanwhile that land is found somewhere else, a place that you don't even know, right? Be very careful. People can buy a land, they show you that this is the land where the land is found elsewhere. Be very, very careful about this, right? So, what do we learn from this video? Many people are suffering because whenever they want to buy land, they do not do the necessary due diligence that is necessary for them to be able to verify and know if the land is actually existing, if they are the rightful owners of the land, or if it is a family land, the family members have consented, or even if the document is authentic. And if the document is authentic, is the land they are showing them actual the land? At times somebody will sell to you a land that does not exist. You have to be very, very careful in order for you not to fall into the hand of these people. So, what do you have to do? If you are somebody that you have the right capacity for you to be able to do all this verification, you can go forward and verify yourself. But if you do not know what to do, then you can go either see a lawyer or a real estate company and pay them some fee. Yes, you have to pay for them to do all these processes for you. And when you pay, they will go through all this process of verification. And if the land is authentic, they can actually come and tell you. Now, many people go and they are scammed because they are not ready to pay maybe 100,000 for consultation fee for a lawyer, for a real estate company, or for whosoever. And they go, they buy a land that is fake just to realize tomorrow that the land has been sold to different people and they will lose their millions. Do not lose millions just because you are stingy. Go to the right people, do the proper verification, and when you have the proper verification, you can go forward. Thank you very much. This is the end of our video. Do well subscribe to our channel, like our videos, so that whenever we bring videos like this in the future, you will be informed. Thank you and see you in the next video.